I love these beautiful fresh flowers. Oh, they're here. Hello, come on in. Hello and welcome. I'm gonna make myself a quick cup of coffee while I tell you all the fun things that we're gonna do today. We are going to talk about some things that I think will really help you. Number one, we're gonna dig in a little bit to that feeling that, you know, here we are in the Christmas holiday season and everybody seems to think it's like the most wonderful time of the year, but I absolutely know there are some of you watching that think it's not the most wonderful time of the year. It's actually the time of the year that makes me feel the most lonely. And for whatever reason that is, I am gonna sit down with you and I'm gonna share some things that I think will really help you to get through this holiday season and go over those old emotions and try to bring back that joy that I know that is inside of you. Also, you know, I love some etiquette, so I'm gonna teach you how to prepare that room for your guests that are coming to stay with you over the holiday season. I'm gonna teach you all of what you need to know to make that guest room the absolute best. And then finally, one of my favorite things in the world that my mother's been making my whole life is we have a special bar. It's called a magic bar that she's been making for us, and I'm going to show you how to make it and present it to your family. So I hope that you will enjoy this. Let's get started. With Christmas upon us, all of us know that we can maybe expect some guests to come stay with us. I want to share with you some warm and cozy tips on how to extend that warmth and hospitality to your guest this holiday season. You know, one of the things I love is when my guests come to my home, that they walk into their guest room and they're kind of like, oh, their breath is taken away. So I'm going to give you some of those tools that I use. Hopefully you can extend that to your friends and family this Christmas season. So the first thing I want to share with you is my guest basket. Now, my friends and family know me by my guest basket, but you don't have to do as much as I do. I just put a variety of snacks. I put some must-haves in there, maybe for a stomach ache, a headache. I put some little stain removers. I put some house slippers, some toothpaste, some deodorant, just thinking through what might they need whenever they come over to my house that they might be embarrassed to ask for. That is the first thing I always do. Then I think about what would they want in the middle of the night. So I always put a bottle of water next to their bed on both sides so that if they need something, that it's already there, thought through. The next thing I want to show you is I always make sure that there's a phone charger right next to the bed. And then inside the drawer, I have a variety of other chargers that I have because I know everybody has different types of phones. So I just want to make sure that I have a variety so they don't have to ask me for it in case they forgot. But I always put an extension cord back behind the bed so that it's easy to access. The next thing I always like to do is make sure that I light those candles. Let me just tell you, it's super important to have those candles lit. I don't understand why there are candles in a room whenever you're going to be in the room or welcoming somebody in the room when they're not turned on. So make sure and turn those candles on. If you want to have more than one, get more than one. I just think it just provides this really yummy ambient feeling. Also, don't forget your lamps. I love lamps so much because they do so much work at turning that room into a cozy, welcoming environment. So turn on those lamps. They're not that expensive. You can just have them on and turn off those overhead lights, okay? Because then that actually creates that warmth in the room. Then the next thing I do, which might be the most important, is I make sure that my guest has a fresh set of sheets. I know that sounds like common sense, but sometimes it's not. So let's make sure that we have fresh sheets. Make sure that you have a cover at the foot of the bed in case they want to sit on the bed and read or just hang out. They have a little cover to throw over them. And I always make sure that I have the best pillows I can find because you know what? I've been to so many different Airbnbs and hotels when I think, oh my gosh, this pillow feels like I'm in prison pillow. It's the worst pillow ever. It's like a flat pancake. Why? Put good pillows on your beds because what I always hear from my guests is, oh my gosh, that was the best sleep I've had in so long. This is the greatest bed I have ever slept in. And I love that because I want my guests just to feel that excellence when they're in my house. So Pillows are good, sheets are made. Also, let me throw this in as a little bonus. If you have children coming, go that little extra mile and get them a little basket with some stuff at their age that they would love. I've done that a few times and it's been super, super special for the kids and they just really feel so thought of. And then the last thing that I do is I make sure that I turn on the TV in the room. If you do have one in there, I'll turn it on to my YouTube channel where I put on whatever season I'm in. So since we're in the Christmas season, I'll put on like a ambient Christmas scene that's just got a really nice light background Christmas music to it because it just sets that ambiance again when they walk in the door. So now you have your room completely set and your guests are about to walk in. The one thing you never want to forget is the bathroom. Make sure that that bathroom is clean. Make sure that the toilets are clean. Make sure you can't see evidence of somebody else having been there before. Make sure that you clean the baseboards in front of the toilet. That's something you always want to remember because you don't want to be your guest sitting there and seeing like dirt and body hair just caked on the bottom, right? So clean that sink, clean the mirror in front of the sink, clean down the counter and the toilets. Make sure they have fresh towels, make sure they have lots of extra toilet paper, and then your guests are ready to arrive. And I promise you, your guests are gonna feel the warmth and the love coming straight from your heart when you just take a few moments to make sure that those little details are seen too. So take your house, take your room, wrap it around with your love, and welcome your guests this holiday season. Hey friend, I just want to remind you that you matter so much. You are the heartbeat of your home. When you rise, everything around you rises. And that's what my ministry is all about. Helping women to discover who they are in God, finding freedom from the things that hold them back, and stepping boldly into the role that He's called them to fill. When you support Carla Shellis Ministries, you're helping to rescue and restore women and children from exploitation and abuse. Your partnership with us will help provide resources for others to achieve freedom in all areas of their life. Every teaching, every outreach, every rescued life is about restoring the family and the home through the woman, through you. When you support this ministry, you're saying yes to healing, yes to hope, and yes to women walking in their God-given purpose. So let's rise together and let's make our homes and our world a reflection of His love. Okay, so this is one of my favorite recipes from my childhood. My mother literally made this every single Christmas. And I often think, why do I not make this throughout the year? It's one of those things that I think just belongs to Christmas. And this is what she has always called a magic bar. And I don't even know why it's called that. And there's very many variations of that, but I absolutely love it. And I'm going to share it with you. And I hope that it will become part of your family's Christmas. It's super easy. Okay, don't forget that the recipe is on my website, so you can get all the information there. But first, we're going to start with a buttered pan or a baking pan. So first, we're going to put all of the graham cracker crust inside your pan. And then I'm just going to take my melted butter, and then I just pour that right on top of that. And then we are going to take a fork, and then we're just going to literally mix all that up inside the pan. And what you're looking to do is get that butter all the way mixed in all the way around that graham cracker crust. It truly is a little bit of an exercise. You can do that. You know what? And whenever I actually eat these, it just takes me straight back to my childhood. And I think that's one of the most important things that you can do for your family is create something that even when your kids, or even when you're long gone, your kids will be like, wow, that just reminds me so much of my mom. I'll tell you, my mom passed away 10 years ago very suddenly, and it was very, very shocking to all of us. But I'm going to tell you, I hang on for dear life to all of the things that she taught me and all of the places that remind me of her just being present. And so I love that so much because I think that's what legacy is, right? And that's what we always want to do. We want to leave a lasting legacy for our family. And I really want you to take that responsibility and make it yours. And so what we're going to do is just make this crust, like I'm literally pressing down here on that crust. and make that as even as you'd like. I know there's going to be some of you out there that just think, I'm going to sit here until every single crumb is perfect. I'm not that person. I am not that person. I just want to make it yummy. And you guys know what? I can remember these being, I used to make my mom make like 10 batches, and because we would give them away as gifts on a plate to some of our friends and family. But I would make me so many extra ones so I could eat them all the way into the new year. Okay, so now that we have that there, the next thing I'm going to do is we have sweetened condensed milk. This is like the best. I used to, as a little girl, stick my finger in that can and just like literally eat all that sweetened condensed milk. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to pour it all over this graham cracker crust. It's really, really thick here. Let's see. And it's kind of like an icing, if you will. And all of this, once we get it in the oven, all of this is going to bake down. And it's going to be really, really good. Now, I know that there's a chance that all these crumbs will come up in here when you're spreading this, but do not worry. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want that to spread. And my mom used to always say that if it's not perfect in the pan, it'll all spread out in the oven. And it surely does, because once this gets really hot, it literally starts to spread out in the oven and it's just perfect. And it makes like this most yummy, syrupy kind of pull around, caramely, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here thing, but it's really good. It really does make the difference. And so that's okay that this is all pulling up. Just keep spreading. And remember, once you get it in the oven, it's all gonna fall into place anyway. Okay, so we have that there. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my shredded coconut on top. My husband does not like coconut, so I will always make a pan with half without coconut, so he can enjoy that too. But you can put on as much as you want or as little as you want. But when this coconut gets into the oven, it is nice and toasty and it's so good. Next thing we're gonna do is some chopped pecans, y'all. Everybody loves some chopped pecans, right? Pecans, y'all. My family back in Southwest Texas, we had our whole family compound. Literally, we've had this compound for probably 80 years, but it was on a pecan orchard. So I grew up with my grandfather and then my cousins picking pecans off of the street, and we just sat and ate them. So pecans also take me straight back to my childhood because we just ate them all the time. Now, here's the piece de resistance, is your chocolate chips. I love to put, now here's the thing, sometimes my mom would put a little heavy-handed on the chocolate chips and it kind of took away to me from the overall taste. So you can put as much or as little as you want. I've also seen people use butterscotch chocolate chips, or not chocolate chips, or butterscotch chips. You can also add white chocolate chips if you want. I don't like that. I want my mom's recipe. I want it to taste exactly like she did. So literally, friend, that is it. You are done. And then you literally just take that and you put that in the oven, and then you serve it to your family. Now I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna pop it in the oven. I did already make another one, and look at how beautiful that is. Nice and toasty and yummy, and we're gonna cut that up and I'm gonna start eating on that because there's nothing for me that says Christmas like these beautiful bars. And I hope that you'll take this recipe and I hope that you'll share it with your family this Christmas season. Have you seen me on socials for etiquette? Well, this is Manners in a Minute. Let's talk about introducing people when you're out and about to the people that you're with. This might be one of the biggest things I struggle with because I have such a hard time remembering people's names. But I have a little formula now that I've created for myself. But if you happen to forget somebody's name and somebody's putting that pressure on you to introduce, I always just say, have I introduced you to my husband, Simon? Or, this is my husband, Simon, and I prepared him earlier to say, if I do that, I didn't remember their name. So introduce yourself and they'll say their name back. Or sometimes I'll say, what was your name again? I'm so sorry, tell me your name again. And they'll say, oh my gosh, no worries, my name is so-and-so. I'm like, thank you so much. I'm so bad with names. So don't get stressed out, just find yourself a little game and make sure and do the introduction, because that's what great people do. Have you felt this sense of loneliness coming up on the holiday season? Are you someone that maybe has lost someone? Maybe you're estranged from your family, or maybe you just have never had anyone to spend the holiday season with. I want you to know that my heart aches for you, and that I first want to say I'm so sorry that you're experiencing that right now. I know how lonely that can feel. I lost my mom some 10 years ago, and that feeling tends to rear its head every year around this season. But I want you to know that I am here to help you with some tools and some tips that I think can push you through to a new normal. I really believe that you can do it. I believe that together we can walk into something new just for you. You see, sometimes we got to trick our brain. Sometimes we got to trick our heart into saying, somebody needs to give me permission to stop being sad. Can I give you permission, friend? Can I give you permission to let's take that sadness and let's try to redirect it back into some joy? I hope that you will sit with me today as I help you go through all of these steps and a little bit of God's word to give you some encouragement. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, curl up somewhere, and let's do this together. Let's go over some tips that I believe can really help you to change this holiday season and all the ones coming in the future. So we're going to begin by the very first tip that I have is find somewhere to volunteer. Find someone to serve. I always say whenever we feel super low, super depressed, super sad, or triggered by something, one of the ways to trick the brain into repeating the past or traumatic events or memories from the past is to take away something old and add something new. So instead of repeating the same position that you've been in, where you're thinking, I'm really, really lonely, I've been super sad these last few months or weeks, or I don't really have anybody to celebrate with for whatever reason, let's go ahead and stop thinking that, and let's start thinking about how we can serve someone else. You know, in the book of 1 Peter, it says, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. And I love, love, love what my commentary says here about the stewardship of serving. It says, Christians in general, using the gifts entrusted to them by the Lord for the strengthening and encouragement of fellow believers. I want to tell you something. This is one of the greatest ways to trick our brain, which is what feeds our body and soul and our emotions, into thinking we are not going to be sad this year. We are going to actually trick ourselves into activating that Jesus spirit within you and go serve someone else. So there are many, many, many nonprofits out there. You can go rock a baby in a hospital who is abandoned or drug addicted or some horrible story behind these babies that are left behind. You can go and rock that baby a couple of hours a week, or you can go serve in a food pantry, or you can go hand out gifts at different ministries that are doing work for the less privileged. There's so many things you can do, but if you get your intention set on focused on something else other than your own pain and your own loneliness, that Jesus spirit within you begins to activate, and it starts to activate those happy parts of your brain, which actually make you start to think things a little bit higher, and maybe a smile will come to your face this holiday season. The second one is go look for other people that might be alone as well. And if you don't know anybody, this is what I do when I'm looking for something like that. I'll say, Lord, can you send me some friends that are in that same season that I'm in? And I'm going to tell you, God is so faithful because he just sends me. All of a sudden, I just run into somebody, or somebody says, I thought you should meet this person. This person's actually a really great person. And it just comes out of nowhere on a text to me. And so if you ask God, he will faithfully provide what it is you're looking for, especially when he knows that you're brokenhearted. So go and try to find other people in your season who maybe have lost somebody, or maybe who are all alone, or maybe just don't like Christmas. And together, you can start to create something new. But what I want to encourage you not to do is sit in your own heartache and sit in your own memories and ruminate those memories over and over and over again, because all you're doing is decaying your bones and you're making yourself physically sick. And I don't want that for you. I want you to enjoy the most beautiful time of the year, and that's Christmas. I love it so much, and my heart is that everybody should love it. And so in Ecclesiastes 4:9 and 10, it says, two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. Wouldn't that be so much better than just sitting there thinking about how sad you are? And if you're used to, like, let's say that a certain song triggers you into something that you used to have, that was a happy memory that's now gone. Don't listen to that song anymore. Find some other songs that you like. If perhaps it's a smell, maybe it's a certain scent or a food that you cooked, that kind of just stop cooking that food and find something else, right? So find something else that you can do to create a new memory. You know, my mother passed away in the last decade, and she was Mrs. Claus on steroids. Do you know that my mother's Christmas tree did not come down for 15 years? I'm serious, 15 years she did not take that Christmas tree down. Once or twice over the 15 years, she would take the ornaments off, wash them, wash down the leaves, because of course they were dusty, and put everything back on. That was my mom. So you can imagine like the spirit of Christmas that I lived around my whole life. But then she died. And boy, that was tough. I felt like the biggest gap in my life. And I thought, well, you know what? It's time for you to get up, put your good big girl pants on, and let's start living and remembering those good things, but actually start creating new things to help lessen the pain that I was going through in those years. So get with somebody else and see if you guys can create some new members together. The other thing that I'm always going to talk about is gratitude. I want to read this quote that I found, that gratitude doesn't ignore the pain, it transforms it. When you shift your focus from what's missing to what is still beautiful, your atmosphere changes. And so the Bible in 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God for you. So I want, and also remember in Psalms 34, okay, forget this one, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. I know you've heard this one, and saves those who are crushed in spirit. So you guys know what? Listen, you have the promise of the Lord that he's going to save all of us who are brokenhearted and crushed in spirit. But you got to do some work yourself. So I want you to start practicing gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you're very upset about or what you're sad about or thinking what you're missing out on this year, let's have you focus on the things that you're grateful for. Look around, even if you have to say, Lord, thank you for the water in my faucet. Even if you have to say, Lord, thank you that my feet work and I can walk, or my eyes work and I can see, or my fingers work and I can make things. Whatever you can find in a granular level is the place to start, because sometimes you just don't feel like being grateful for anything. But then again, you got to take control of yourself, and you've got to be in charge of yourself and not wait for everyone around you to come make you happy. It's no one else's job on the planet, no one except for you and God, to find your joy. Jesus is the source of all the joy, and it's immovable. It's unshakable. So when we just turn to the Lord and start focusing on the things we're grateful for, the Lord is going to elevate that spirit within you. And all of a sudden, you're going to be in exchange with the Holy Spirit. You're just going to start feeling that exchange, and you're going to start laughing more, and you're going to start smiling more. And speaking of smiling, I'm going to give you some homework. I want you to make yourself, if no one's watching, I still want you to do this. Make yourself smile 5 times a day. Just make that your homework for the next few weeks. And if you have to put a timer on your phone, do that. And just the timer says smile. And what it's doing to your brain psychologically, it's releasing a hormone in your body that actually elevates all of the systems in your body that give you joy. And I'll tell you what, you are the only one responsible for that joy inside of your field of blessing. So take your field of blessing, which is about 9 feet in diameter around you, which has been measured, by the way, and you be in charge of that. You be in charge of how you can make yourself laugh. If you have to watch some funny Christmas movies by yourself, get yourself a nice little meal, a nice cup of hot chocolate, create a nice little environment for yourself, put some lamps on, some candles on, put your movie on, and love on you, because you are the most important person in your life. And I believe in you. I believe that you can do this. I believe that you can have the best season ever right here and right now. God bless you. Hey friends, I have a question for you. Do you ever feel like you give and you give until there's nothing left for you? If you're married, you might feel responsible for your spouse's happiness or even carry guilt for things that were really never yours to fix. Maybe you're questioning, why do I feel like I'm so alone? Well, let me tell you, you're not alone. So many of us have been there, and trust me, I have been there. I've been stuck in survival mode, trying to be everything for everyone, all while ignoring the truth of my own pain. But you know what I figured out? That is not how God intended for us to live. God created us to live from a place of being, not doing. I want to help you get to that place. And that's why I created the Freedom Formula. It's a powerful journey of emotional and spiritual healing, helping you discover for yourself that you are enough and that you can get it done and not be completely spent and exhausted. You can actually find a peace that's not robbed every time someone else that you love needs more from you. Because when a woman walks in her God-given freedom, she experiences a joy that she's never known before. And guess who benefits first from that overflow of her joy? First her, then her family, then her children notice it, and even her home. Everything shifts. If any of this resonates with you, if any of this makes sense to you, then this formula is for you. The Freedom Formula is an online course that you can take right from the privacy of your home and at your own pace. Listen, I'm a huge fan of therapy, but sometimes that can cost between $500 to $600 a month. And for $399 a year, you can take a step that will change your life forever. And if you grab the bundle, you'll get my beautiful workbook journal, plus a few little surprises that I want to throw in there just for you. And here's the most beautiful part. When you enroll in the Freedom Formula, you're also gifting it to another woman in need. It could be a woman in a safe house, recovering from abuse, or even sexual exploitation. Because God wants to use your healing to unlock someone else's. Let's start by saying yes to you. Yes to your healing, yes to your freedom, yes to finding your purpose, and most importantly, yes to becoming the woman that God has always designed you to be. Because everything that you need is already within you. So today we have talked about hosting and how to prepare your home when you are hosting some friends and family over the holiday season. Also, I've taught you a fun recipe here to hand out to your friends and family, a little sweet treat for everybody. And then I hope and pray that you also received some information that you might be able to use in your life to make this holiday season way more joyful for you than it has been in the past. So we don't want any loneliness this holiday season. I want you to flow in an abundance of joy. So I hope that you will take everything that you had, and I hope that you'll be inspired this Christmas season. So I just want to remind you that every single thing that you need is already within you. Now, who wants some magic bars? Woo! Let's go, let's go. Everybody come in, because I've got these yummy magic bars, and you guys, you get 2 pieces because that's small. Anybody else? I'm gonna have one too. I need the corner though.